One. All right, we are back, episode 5 of Embrace Debate. We would like to welcome on our newest member of the squad, and that would be Mr. Kobe Brickner.
Hey, so Joe.
Avid basketball fan, footwear associate, an absolute stud. So we'd like to welcome on Kobe. A little bit about yourself, buddy. Go right ahead.
So, I love sports. I work at Dick's Sporting Goods, like you said, footwear. Yes, sir. I graduated from New Albany this past December. I majored in marketing, and I just chilling on this quarantine fucking shit. Hopefully this is done soon, and that's about it.
All right, but we're pleased to welcome you on. It was the big surprise that we had that we dropped, this afternoon because my computer sucked, but happy to have you, buddy.
Hey, I watched a couple of your episodes. I love what you guys are doing, so I just want to be a part of it.
Let's go. So today's episode, we talked about it last one. We're doing Last Dance, and then we decided literally last minute, probably about an hour ago, we were going to do an all-time NBA draft. Right now we're on making 6 picks, but to be quite honest, that I don't know how long. It depends on how long the Last Dance talk goes for. We might do a couple more picks if we're feeling it. If not, we're only gonna make 6. But Harry's gonna take the lead on this week's episode. So Harry, go right ahead, buddy.
All right, thanks, Trev. So everybody's been watching the Last Dance documentary. It's been, with this quarantine, it's been a blessing just to have something about the live sports. And I mean, I think I don't speak for myself, but it was maybe the best 30 for 30 they ever made. And it wasn't like they brought up anything new with the story. It's just great for someone in our generation who just hear about the story of Michael Jordan, not actually seeing him live. And you hear all these incredible stories. He's not even human. And then actually seeing him in person, all these friends and teammates telling the stories about his character and the way he was on the court, off the court, in practice. It was great to watch. So we thought for this episode we'd do a little recap of it and get people's reactions. So the first thing I'm going to ask, and I'll start with you, Nak, what was your favorite moment of the whole documentary?
There were a couple. Definitely my favorite episodes had to come down to like the Rodman episodes. Those episodes just in general were hysterical, and like getting to see inside the mind of Rodman was pretty dope. Karen, the Pacer fan, really was monumental for me.
Isn't her son on the Bulls now? Isn't that like a thing?
I thought she was a Utah fan. I thought it was Utah.
I think I saw on Twitter that her son is like on the Bulls now.
I don't know. That was hysterical. I think she embodies me as a fan in general, so I really appreciated how she was in the stands. But yeah, favorite moment. I mean, it just had to be Rodman going to Vegas. There's no other thing that I could have chose.
That's fitting for you. Jimmy, about you?
I mean, I think going off that, I think it's kind of iconic that they sent Michael Jordan to go and get Dennis Rodman from Vegas, considering the avid gambling issues that he allegedly doesn't have. I think my favorite moment was probably actually in the last episode, towards the end of the last episode when he eliminated the Indiana Pacers in Game 7. The moment that he shared with Larry Bird after, showing that it's still friendship over basketball at the end of the day for some of these guys, and that he was able to turn it on the court, and then not even 10 minutes later he was able to joke with Larry Bird and take shots about how he now has the ability to focus on his golf game instead of worrying about playing in the NBA Finals.
I mean, it really does show the man is competitive both on and off the court. I mean,
no days off is literally his lifestyle.
I know, it's crazy. Tony?
Yeah, for me, probably just seeing, like, the development of Jordan throughout his career. Like, coming up is just, like, an energetic, like, exciting player to watch, dropping 50 every now and then. And just becoming, like, the leader of the team and just, like, not letting anyone beat him. Like, I think if LeBron, like, or just, like, anyone today, like, Jordan just wouldn't let him beat, like, him in a series. But, yeah, my favorite moment, probably the funniest moment was on top of Dennis Rodman, his apology to Jordan going into his room asking for a
that was good too.
Oh, it was always great. Kobe?
So going into the last episode, my favorite moment. Well, I guess it's a little bit more of a moment, but like I never knew like the basis surrounding when he went to baseball his first year of retirement. I knew he played for the White Sox. He didn't make it all the way, but I wasn't sure like what the circumstances were. Why did he step away from baseball? And there was something going on with like a kind of a lockout, Players Association kind of thing. But my favorite moment was the last episode, his last shot, and getting Dennis Rodman's point of view. He's like, they were asking him like, "What did you do?" And Jordan had the ball. He's like, "Get out of the way, just plant
the
it down in the
fuck out
post.
of the
Get out of the
way."
way. He's gonna
Way.
shoot that." And it went in. And I saw something on Twitter. It's got the whole like the picture of his last shot, and there's a kid just above the shot clock saying 6 before the shot goes even in. So that was really cool to see.
Let me ask you, you think it was a push-off?
No.
No?
I'm hoping it's not a push-off. I don't think it's a push-off. I watched it a couple of times, but it doesn't look like it. Momentum, like you said,
It was more of
it
a
was
guy
going
I
that
feel
way.
like.
And he even said that when he was scouting him before the 1997 series that Brian Russell, whatever his name is, he would always play on the tip of his toes. So if you do one G, he'd always go for it. So he knew he'd be off balance. So it's kind of why I lean towards your way. Trev?
I just want to put this out there. The Karen is Luke Cornett's mom, who is on the Bulls.
Oh, the center.
Yes.
Former
Big man.
New York Knickerbocker, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
Honestly, my favorite moment from the whole thing was Steve Kerr's speech after games after winning the 6th one, where he was like talking about how he has to like make up for Michael and all that stuff. I thought that was hilarious. And then honestly, it was like them getting so personal about like Steve Kerr's dad and Jordan's dad. I think like all those like put together like just made it it made it more than basketball in my opinion, like which is why this thing was like so good. Was because it was more than basketball. It showed the bad side of Jordan with the gambling, and then showed his personal life, and then they brought in his kids at the end. Like I think all in all, it was more about Jordan than it was about the '98 Bulls, but like it was still about the '98 Bulls at the same time. Everything that leading up to that moment, to that one championship.
Billy?
I had 4 like big moments that I really thought were pretty funny, and like just small moments that always got me engaged. One was Scotty Burrell, how he was just always on him and he was just killing him for no reason. That was always funny to me. One like actual basketball moment that was really cool was the Dream Team. He didn't want the Reebok to get any like money or anything, so he covered the flag over the Reebok symbol. The scrimmage wherever somewhere in Spain. Now, if anybody can ever get their hands on that footage, the full thing would be some of the best basketball you'll ever see, along with the Space Jam stuff that they talked about, how Michael was trying to get back in shape. And then also, like Nack said, the Rodman stuff is just electric. He's maybe one of the only other players you could get a full 10-episode documentary on and just be even more entertained because of just how crazy he is from his basketball career up to now. Him being like boys with Kim Jong-un is pretty crazy. And then rounding off, Carmen Electra still got that fastball, baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can't believe
She's looking good still.
She's still looking mighty fine. I mean, I got to say for myself, there were 2 things that really stuck out to me. I would say the one was the pursuit for the first championship, having to go through those Detroit Pistons. Of course, I mean, if you watched 30 for 30s in the past, you may remember the Bad Boys one that came out a few years ago.
My favorite.
You got the story from the Pistons' point of view, like how they needed to destroy Jordan. They made the Jordan rules. Anytime he got up in the air, Horn and Lampier would hit him down. So I got how their strategy beat him. But to hear Jordan's dedication to what he had to do when he realized that he could not beat the Pistons with the way he currently was, and then the first time he ever spent an offseason lifting was that offseason, and carried that on to 1995 when they lost to the Magic in the conference semis. And then usually, according to his trainer, Tim Grover, he goes, so how much – he used to take about a month off just to relax, take some time, celebrate. And then after they lost, he says to Jordan, as he was leaving the locker room, he goes, all right, Jordan, what do you want me to do? He goes, you free tomorrow? And I couldn't imagine the amount of work he put in that offseason to
Was it all of them?
I don't think it was all of them. I think it was just. I think it was
I
just.
remember.
Jordan.
I remember one of the episodes they said that when they got eliminated, they all didn't hesitate and didn't want to wait to get back into the gym to like get
Uh,
back at it.
You see, I don't think it was that one. I think it was the one when they lost to the Pistons because that was the summer he was working in LA on Space Jam. So he was working out with some of the Bulls guys. So
Mhm.
because when they lost to the Pistons in '90 and Scottie Pippen had that migraine, I think that's kind of when the Bulls really dedicated the offseason to getting bigger and stronger. So I mean, it was that from Jordan himself, and then going off the Bulls franchise. I mean, the story from the start was Jerry Krause and how he broke it up this franchise. I really thought after watching the whole thing, the owner Jerry Reinsdorf got off the hook a lot because you
Kept them around.
own the team, you get the final say. You don't just let your GM say, "Hey, we have the greatest player in the world, but we can't afford some of these players, so we have to strip the team down." And if you're an owner, you really want to win. You keep everything. You do everything you can to make sure that team's in championship form, and to just quit after 98, just say we're done. When Jordan himself made it clear that if Phil Jackson and his team came back, he was going to play. I mean, you heard him. It was maddening to him, the fact that he had to retire knowing he still had some of his best days. He won the MVP in 98. Like, can you think of any other player that won an MVP in their last season? I mean, forget about the Wizards games. I mean, can you think of that?
I mean, kind of similar situation. Tom Brady's obviously still playing, but he won MVP a couple years ago. That's the only thing that I can really think of on a similar scale.
I mean, true. I mean, it's the only. And if you saw Tom Brady retire after that year, he won the Super Bowl. No, he lost the Super Bowl that year to
The Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah. So if you saw him retire after that season, you would have been like, "Holy fuck, that he left too soon," because he had some left. He had some left in the tank. So the fact that he had to go was crazy to me. So going off that, what was your favorite Jordan feud? Of course, there's him against Jerry Krause. There's him against the Pistons. There's even him against the Pacers, even the Glove. Of all you guys, what was your favorite? I'll start with you, Jimmy.
Well, my favorite feud wasn't him and Jerry Krause. I do think it's very interesting now that there's rumors out there saying that he modeled like the head of the Monstars after Jerry Krause because like the images and stuff like that kind of look very depicting of similarities between the two. I think my favorite one is Reggie Miller. Him and Reggie Miller. I think he really humbled Reggie Miller. In that first kind of outing when Reggie beat him to the 10 the first time, and he goes, "You're supposed to be Michael Jordan."
Yeah.
And then they went on, and I think he said that was the last in that game. He only ended up scoring those 2 points, and Jordan, I think that he said had like 38 or something against them.
I think it was something crazy on those lines.
And then I mean after 2, so Jordan essentially scored 38 unanswered points in the matchup against him. And then he said that was the last time he ever called Michael Jordan, like Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It was either Mike, Black Jesus, or something
Black
else.
Cat.
Black
The
Black
Cat.
Cat, that Black Cat.
I just
Black
think
Cat Jordan.
I just think it says something about your representation if you're being referred to by your
Reputation.
competitors. Yeah. What did I say? Representation?
Representation.
Yeah.
Oh boy. We'll blame it on the tooth.
Yeah. It's
Lost
thing.
0.28% of his intelligence.
Yeah.
When you're being referred to as technically a god, as your nickname by other players, speaks highly of yourself.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback off that,
Oh, go ahead.
I love the Indiana Pacers as my team, and not a lot of people really give them a lot of credit throughout like their history of being a basketball team. They're not always like the most competitive in the Eastern Conference, but they created some really good teams and they had some really good players. And Reggie Miller, I feel like he should have been a little bit better on the ESPN 74 top players in the NBA, but we'll probably get to that soon. But I mean, yeah, Reggie Miller was a beast, and he didn't back down to Michael Jordan at all. And that's just something that a lot of players can't say that was the case.
Yep. Tony.
Yeah, for me, probably my favorite feud had to be with the Pistons squad just throughout the years. Like, that first series that he won against them must have felt so good, seeing them walk walk off the floor like they did. And it carried on to like the dream team and all that. Just Pippen and Jordan just disliking Isaiah. Like Isaiah clearly had the talent and should have been on the dream team, but I don't know, Jordan was just so high up and had so much say that he was the main reason why Isaiah just didn't make that team.
They didn't even entertain the possibility because, I mean, the coach, Chuck Daly, that was his coach in Detroit. And, I mean, I saw – this wasn't in the actual Last Dance. I saw an interview with the director who said, based on his interviews, if they were going to take anybody from the Pistons, it was going to be Joe Dumars. Because they knew that Joe Dumars at least had the respect of the other guys. So you could even tell that even Chuck Daly couldn't even convince the players to take Isaiah Thomas. That shows you how much he was not just hated by Jordan, but just all around the league. Trev?
Yeah, I was going to just back it up by that. And I think, honestly, it's just straight up Jordan versus Thomas. Just the amount of hate that Michael Jordan, like, as a player had from Isaiah Thomas is just crazy. Even to him watching the interview, like, they handed him the tablet and had him watch what Isaiah said was just – I think that was just crazy, just how much he hated Isaiah Thomas. And I think you're right. It's like he had to say is Isaiah Thomas at the time was – it was – Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas were the two best point guards in the NBA at the time. And for him not to be on that dream team was like it had to have been – someone had to have had say, and it's obviously Michael, the best player at the time. So I just think for me it's Thomas and Jordan was the best feud he had.
Really?
I think my favorite just from like to get inside the mind of Michael Jordan was that a guy on the Wizards. I literally don't even remember his name. He was literally
Bradford Smith.
LeBradford Smith.
LeBradford
went
Smith.
I was going to
off
say
against
something about
him,
that too.
and he made up a story completely just to bust this kid for no reason. Like, just to get in the mind of Michael Jordan in that way was crazy to me.
Brad, like, the guy had, what, like 37?
He had literally the game of his life.
I
And
think
then,
Literally,
like,
he was a rookie too.
No,
Yeah,
I think it was like 37 or something, and then Michael said that he came up to him and put his arm around him and said, "Good game, Mike."
yeah.
And that was
And
the
then the
made-up
next
part. And then
game,
Michael
Mike
went out and
dropped
scored
like
38 in
30
the first half.
30 or
And
40.
he had two.
Yeah.
Wild.
37 in an entire game, and then Michael dropped 36 in the first half.
Yeah.
I think
That's-
that came to like 48.
Yeah. That
And,
was funny.
just the fact that it was completely made up makes it even
Made
better.
up.
Yeah.
Gee, it shows the man. I mean, he looked for motivation anywhere. If he couldn't find it, he made it up.
That and that dude on the Jazz that he made the final shot on.
Brian Russell,
and
yep.
he said something about him when he was not with the Bulls, and he kept that in his head for what 3-4 years. That was
When he was a rookie in like '94, and Jordan came back to watch a game in the stands, and he said that to him, and
Mhm.
forgot. You?
Mine had to be the BJ Armstrong series.
Screen.
When he's on the Hornets.
Yeah.
Yeah, towards the end of the game when Armstrong hit that shot and just stared over at everyone on the bench. I just thought that was like one of the biggest mistakes he could have ever made. Like knowing just the talent that team was going to bring. And then he even said, like, when they got back to the locker room right after that game, they were like, all right, boys, we got to be ready because they're about to bring the house. And what do you know? MJ went off for the rest of that series.
I mean, for me personally, it's you guys already mentioned most of them, but just to give them credit, and I idolize this team to a degree. I loved that Knicks team from the '90s. They were a very mean team, like the Bulls. They would push you around. They would be the bad boy Pistons if they had won a game. And to see the battles that they had, the Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, John Starks, Greg Anthony, these guys were mean, and they would throw around the Bulls players. The Bulls players would throw around the Knicks players, and it would get heated. And it was so great to watch, especially with the video. It was John Starks dunking over those 3 Bulls and Jordan at the end. And then the story is that Jordan saw that. Someone actually almost dunked on him, and Jordan just went into a new mode that we hadn't seen the whole series, and he went off like normal Jordan. And I just wanted – and seeing the Knicks, you don't see that type of basketball today. And watching that, it's just a fresh breath air. And just the intensity they played with, especially those Knicks teams, was so great. So if you are on Instagram pretty much after every single episode, or even during the episodes, you always see one of those memes, whether it's the security guy doing the shrug or it's one of Jordan's famous quotes or him laughing at an iPad. So let me ask you guys, what was your favorite one of those? Tony?
The one that I liked the most was the whole Gary Payton thing, how Gary Payton thought he was a threat to Jordan during that series, and then Jordan pretty much just came out and was like, nah, Gary Payton didn't give me any problems, and just the whole mess idea Gary had. I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That laugh was golden.
Yeah, I got to give it to homeboy with the shrug.
Mhm.
It was always wild too because he was on a security team. Like I thought he worked at the United Center, and that's what he was. And then like later in the like a couple episodes later, he kept popping up, and I just kept laughing because just that shrug is just sunken into your brain.
It was him and Gus. Him and Gus were the
Him,
Oh, the
I
dude with
can't
the
imagine
curly hair.
the confidence
well, no,
you
yeah,
have
they're the security crowd.
Yeah.
to shrug a man that isn't even considered human by some people. Just absolute madness.
What was the game? Could you even? Was it so you would?
It's literally get the quarter as close as you can. It's like horseshoes with quarters and a wall.
but without touching the wall, because I saw like him on the wall and they were like, "Oh, damn it."
No idea. All I know is I might be
thought the
playing
same
it by
thing.
myself pretty soon in quarantine.
You could play with your dad for money.
Trev.
The moment with Larry Bird after I think when Bird was coaching, after the game where they were like exchanging pleasantries, and then Jordan was like, "You bitch, fuck you," and he walked away and told him to work on his golf game. I think that was the best meme that came out of the.
That and I think the picture of Larry Bird when he was the coach, he was on the sideline just deadpan after they hit like a game-winning shot. I think
Oh,
that could take
no.
on like a Life of a Derrick Rose type meme. That you,
No, it was the
everybody
dude
else
from
is
the
hyped and
Pacers.
you're just chilling.
It was Reggie hit the shot,
Yes.
and then they came down the court with like 0.7, and they forced Michael into the double clutch,
Mhm.
and he missed it. But like the point of that was like, if you looked at Larry, he knew that there was still time for Michael to hit a shot, and that's why he wasn't excited.
That
That was the story behind it.
I already gave my answer, but Karen for sure.
oh, of course, Karen.
Karen's just hysterical. That has been blowing up on the Twitterverse, and
I feel like that and the Carmen Electra kiss in the finals trophy are the things I've seen like the two most in the last
Yeah.
24 hours.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
the Jordan iPad, like when he's just looking at the iPad and just has like a serious look. That one's pretty funny too.
Jimmy, you got one?
Yeah, I think the iPad one's up there for me. I think also just the idea and the mindset behind it might not be a meme, but just my own mental concept of what Dennis was going through Dennis Rodman's head when he was going to apologize to Jordan when he knocks on the door, and like he knows asking for a cigar is him essentially saying sorry, and like he knows Michael and all that. So I just wonder how awkward it was for the two of them at first.
Oh, the other one I saw too was when Rodman was explaining how balls like come off the rim,
No.
and it was like how people are on the hub, and it's like click here goes this way, click here goes that way, click here goes this way.
My favorite, as someone who knows one or two things about gambling, it was his rationale for his gambling addiction. Well, according to him, lack thereof. The fact that what every gambler says is that, no, I don't have a gambling problem. I have a competition problem.
My family isn't starving.
Yeah, that reminded me of a quote from How I Met Your Mother. It was like Barney Simpson was asked. He goes, "Don't you have a gambling problem?" He goes, "No, I don't have a problem. It's a problem if you lose." Jordan didn't lose. Go Jordan. And I just thought it was such a gambler degenerate thing to say that you don't have a gambling problem. You don't have. Has there ever been someone who's admitted that they have a gambling problem?
I mean, Donahue got caught, but
Well, I mean, he went to
Not
prison.
him,
I think
yeah.
he kind of had to do that.
any person that's been
Pete
like,
Rose.
anonymous.
Yeah, but he still gambles. So I think he says that, and you got to take that with a grain of salt.
Rose is still charging like $100 for an autograph, so it's not that bad for him.
He's gambling on his autograph work.
So
I think it's funny to put, one last word on that is just to put in perspective that $10,000 to Mike was like $10 to us. It's absolutely insane.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like, yes, he just blew away 50 grand, but at the end of the day, does that really mean anything to Mike? Like, shit.
that's why people weren't too concerned, because I mean, they knew that he had money both from the NBA contract and Nike.
You
So
got the juice.
watching all of this, and you guys probably knew about. Everybody watches this already knows about the 6 rings. So you see this, and after this, what do you think is going to be the lasting legacy of both Jordan and this Bulls team? Just to wrap this whole conversation, Kobe.
That's a good question. I think it's just pure hard work and dedication. It's like he never just accepted failure. I think a lot of people watching that kind of have to realize that you have to do a lot of things that could be controversial for success.
Trev.
I don't want to sound ignorant, but I think it's the shoes. I think his lasting legacy is going to be his like off the court stuff. To be honest with you, like the brand itself, the shoes.
Logo.
Honestly, like right now, Kobe, how much you buy for? How much would it be for a pair of like? What do those shoes sell for on the auction?
Careful,
the game worn
expert
ones.
in.
I just saw a game worn pair of ones back in his rookie year, sold for $560,000.
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
but like I know Bron's got shoes and
There it
Bean's
is.
got shoes. KD, all those guys got shoes now, but like none of them have their own brand.
None of them are the logo of the shoe.
Exactly. Like it's so much bigger than basketball now. Like especially still like we're now 20 years past almost 20 years past his last game and he's still got shoes coming out. You know, like it's stuff like that that's just unreal.
There's I forget. I think I might have saw it on Twitter. Somebody said that he was wearing shoes that still haven't even come out yet. So like he's out there starting and like even he doesn't even see it as that, but like he's flexing when he's not even trying to,
Right.
based on the fact that he has all these unattainable assets to these different things. Like you said, like I'm sure if LeBron called anyone at Nike, he could have whatever he wanted Nike wise, but like Jordan, like they make sure he has it. Like there's not a question that Jordan's not gonna have a
Yeah,
certain
like
shoe.
there's no like
You don't say no to Michael Jordan.
right, like there's Air Jordan, there's no like Fly Braun or like any of that shit. Like it's Air Jordan. Everyone knows who Air Jordan is from the US to freaking South Africa and anywhere in between. Everyone knows who Michael Jordan is.
True. Willie.
I think like the lasting legacy of just the team overall might end up being Phil Jackson at the end, just being like he's done. Because they could have kept going, at least tried to win the seventh. And I don't think they maybe would have been able to get everybody back, but to give at least Michael the shot to try to win 7, I think might hurt Phil in the long run.
I believe the '99 season was the strike season.
It was.
too.
They only played about 55 games.
So, I mean, that would have bettered their – I don't know if that – I mean, if they brought back a majority of the team, that probably would have helped them as well, not having to play as many regular season games in an effort to push towards number 7. I think that's the biggest what if, him coming out and saying that literally all these guys would have committed to coming back and running it back for one more shot. And then it's just like they kind of left it off.
You just saw like the pure exhaustion that Michael put himself through in Game 6 against Utah. Like after he hit the shot and he's like, "Oh shit, we still got 6 seconds left. I still got to make a defensive stop." Like the look on him, he was like, "I'm literally just sitting there, like just thinking, like, am I gonna be able to do this?" Like you could tell that he was just done.
Mm-hmm. That and gathering his moments because to him it was essentially going to be his last game.
Right.
His
I
last
mean, that was
defensive stop.
the quote from
I
Jim
don't think
Ross.
if they go to Game 7, I don't think they win because you could tell he was done.
It wasn't him. It was Scotty. He was limping.
Scotty
Yeah,
was done
looking
too.
bad.
Yeah, bro. I don't think they won. I don't think they win Game 7. They had to win Game 6.
Probably won't. Probably wouldn't. Knack.
Kind of both Kobe and Will's point. Like overall, like the winner's mindset and like that attitude you have to be able to be the like one of the greatest or the greatest that go on. But just basically like constantly pushing the people around you, being that leader, like having that never-ending effort that you have to have, and then also basically like the legacy of that team. 3 rings in a row, do it twice, pretty incredible. So just that being basically like a history maker right there, that's another legacy point for him.
Jimmy, you have anything else to add to what you've already said, or
No, I think I'm straight for now.
Tony?
I actually do as well.
Let
Just one
Tony go
last quick
first.
thing.
Let Tony go first.
Oh, my bad, Tony.
You're
Yeah,
good.
I was gonna say like Jordan's like dog mentality. Like I think there's only one other player in the history of their game to have mentality, and it's Kobe with his like Mamba mentality. But yeah, I think that just like left a mark on the NBA. Like Jordan and Kobe, just they're on their own tier. Like they wouldn't let anyone beat them like easily. But,
Before we transition away from something, if you guys ever notice, I think I might have told Knack this or Will this one time, but if you ever watch an interview of Michael Jordan, you should pull up a video on your phone if you have it on like your TV or something, and play Kobe Bryant's audio, and listen and close your eyes. They essentially sound like the same exact person, Kobe and MJ. It's scary if you listen to it. So I recommend checking it out after, like pulling up like a video of Michael Jordan on your TV, and then a video of Kobe on your phone, and like closing your eyes and playing one and the other. It's very hard. Obviously, because you're in control of it, but it's eerie how alike they sound.
Kobe, what was your thought you had?
So, just a whole, like, in broad perspective, Jordan has, like, revolutionized the NBA itself. Like, you see this Jerry West logo right here? It could very well be Michael Jordan, because you look at, like, the Dream Team in '92 and how much people, like, resounded this guy. Like, this guy was the shit. And, like, everybody wanted just anything, just to watch a game, to have memorabilia, his signature, stuff like that. Like, just so many people started watching the game and gave it the respect it deserves.
Yeah, I think you guys touched it really well, all you guys, because, I mean, you all took a little bit of aspects of what I said, what I was going to say, especially with Kobe. You're talking about the dedication, the hard work he puts in, the killer mentality that he has, that where he was more afraid of losing than satisfied with winning. Like it was when he won, it was a relief outside of that first championship that he won when he beat the Lakers. I think that was, you could see straight jubilation coming out of him, tears of joy. I mean, that was a monkey lifted off his shoulder. He was so happy. But every championship after that, it was just thank God we didn't lose, because he hated the idea of losing. And you especially saw it in '95. And then the other thing is it's his impact on the NBA, both in an economic standpoint. I mean, you could sell his shoes. He still has the highest selling shoe in the league, and he hasn't played in 17 years. And the TV ratings when he left, they went down significantly. And then, so if you were to say, compare that to LeBron James, if we didn't have LeBron James, let's say he retired for this year, would NBA ratings go down? Yeah, slightly, but not nearly to the degree that they did when Jordan left the league. I think it shows you the power that Jordan had on the court and then the power that he had off the court. So I think so. Great discussion, guys. So with that being said,
Harry, I actually have a question for everyone.
All right.
For me personally, I'm not like the most avid basketball fan, so this documentary was like kind of a big learning experience. Did anyone learn any interesting facts that they didn't know before watching the doc? So, like, for example, for me, I had no idea about Steve Kerr's dad and that whole situation. I thought that was incredible and almost like a connecting point for Steve and Michael. Even though they never talked about it, it was just like another building block for that team that was kind of underlying. So did anyone have like any interesting facts that they took away from that?
Yeah, I had a big one. One that like really just blew my mind was when they beat the doors off the Jazz in the finals. I had no clue. They only put up 54 points. That was pretty ridiculous.
The big one for me is like where they all came from. Like I know Mike went to UNC, but like Scottie Pippen going NAIA, Rodman going to like what was it, Northwest Oklahoma?
I think it was
Thought it was
Central
like-
Arkansas.
No, that's Scotty.
Oh, that was Scotty, right?
I
So
thought it was like some San Antonio or something.
it was a
I
community
think
college.
it was Northwest Oklahoma State. I think was the name of
Could have
it.
been right. It was something a small school like that.
It was yeah, just like where these guys came from to be like the studs that they were in the NBA. It's just
Southeastern Oklahoma State.
yeah. See, like you see it now with like guys like I'm a Blazers fan, so I'll give you like Dame Lillard and CJ. Like Dame went to Weber State and CJ's from Lehigh.
Fuck Lehigh.
Like
All
He
right,
has
like
goated,
Duke
bro.
bias go.
CJ was on that team.
Okay.
Beat Duke. That's why CJ's my favorite. Well, second favorite behind Dame.
I mean,
The
for
second best player on
myself,
your favorite team.
I had no idea the story from '94 when Scottie Pippen took himself out of the game. When Phil
Yeah.
Jackson didn't draw that play up for him, that never gets any attention ever. And
Yeah.
that's probably because, and he can kiss his lucky stars, that Tony Kukoc made that shot. If Tony Kukoc didn't make that shot, they miss and they lose that game, I think Scottie Pippen probably would have been traded after that season. I mean, that's just – I mean, I don't know what's going – they tried trading Pippen a couple times after that, but if they didn't have a commitment from Jordan that he possibly coming back and they saw that Pippen was unhappy with both what's going on the court and his contract, I think we could have saw the end of the Bulls dynasty there.
To me, I didn't realize how serious the issues were with Phil Jackson and Jerry Krause. I didn't realize he was essentially, I mean, arguably at the time the best coach in the NBA, arguably now one of the best coaches, if not the best coach ever, was essentially getting run out of town for winning championships. Like, to me, that's something that I found really interesting and something, I mean, outside of the situation with Dwayne Casey in Toronto, you haven't really seen since.
Another quick one that I really found was from the baseball side that Tito was his manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I thought that was sick, and then him just how they treat him, and then Jerry Reinsdorf was like, "Yeah, just take your basketball contract. We won't even give you a new baseball one. We'll just pay what you were making in basketball."
Yeah,
I found it very interesting that they plopped him right into AA too.
They had to. He was talking about it because they weren't going to send him to say they
Because
send
of
him to
attendance
sports
and stuff.
season, they don't have the media
Yeah.
availability.
I know, but you would think they would. Nowadays, they would make accommodations. But then he skipped 2
he's-
whole levels of baseball after not playing for 13 years, something like that. And
Yeah,
he's
and I mean, his
jumping right
work,
to the.
they showed his work ethic. How first he started off, he had a 13-game hit streak, and then they were like, "All right, he can't
not
just
throwing
throw this dude
fastballs.
meatball."
And then everyone was impressed that he hit 200.
Yeah, and then
He hadn't played him.
it showed how competitive he was. Once he couldn't hit curveball, he was doing early work. He was doing his cage work in, and then he was doing work after the games.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, that swing was ugly.
Yeah,
Oh,
Swing
definitely. Well, I
Still
mean,
better than Tim Tebow.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true. Can't argue with that.
Tebow didn't reach AAA, so embrace me.
Yeah.
Tony?
Syracuse Mets, baby.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words in the last dance anybody wants to mention? Or
I was just gonna say quickly, I didn't realize Larry Bird was the coach of that Pacers team. They went through their careers being really good friends, then matching up in a series like that, player versus coach. I thought that was.
I think he's the only person involved in the NBA ever to win a championship as a player, coach, and executive.
he never won as a coach. Pacers have never won a title in their history.
I don't think it was when he was the coach of the Pacers.
Pat Riley.
Oh, actually, it might have been Pat Riley. No, he didn't play.
Pat Riley played.
Yeah,
He won a championship for
Pat
the
Riley.
Knicks.
I don't know if
went
he
to
won a championship
Kentucky.
as a player. I know it definitely as a coach and an exec.
Well, Bill Russell definitely won as a player and a coach. I'm not sure. I don't think he was ever an exec, but
Bill Russell was never an exec.
I don't think
Maybe
he was.
MVP player. That's what it was. MVP, coach of the year, executive of the year.
I think that's it.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah, I like
You're
it.
actually right on that.
Yeah.
All right.
that's what it was.
All right. Good discussion, guys. So we thought, looking back at the 90s, and we saw that ESPN did a top 74 players of all time. And just to I'll list off top
Imagine
70.
being the 75th player on that list,
How devastating. Probably was Eric Snow or something.
especially since 74 is Artis Gilmore.
Dude, the guy looked like he was 64 when he was 25. But so
Looks like a My Park player.
I know. But just to give a quick synopsis of the top 10. So number 10 was Shaquille O'Neal. 9 was Kobe Bryant. 8 was Tim Duncan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 7 was Wilt.
I'm looking right now. Give me a second.
No, 7 was Bird, I
Wilt,
think.
Wilt, Magic, Russell, Kareem, LeBron.
Yeah, so that was the top 10. nobody has any true arguments. Of course, you got those people who.
Oh no, I have a true argument, but
I
let's just
don't have like an
draft and I'll make
argument.
my
I
argument.
just have a more of like a statement on the list overall. Like some things just don't make sense. Like how Bill Russell somehow got 3 players better and he hasn't played in like 40 years. That was pretty wild to me. Then Giannis already being a top 30 player of all time was pretty crazy over some guys like AI and Steve Nash. Carmelo wasn't even ranked on the list.
What?
Yeah, Carmelo's not on the list.
Crap, you didn't do any prep.
Carmelo's not on the list.
No, I didn't know Carmelo wasn't on the list.
Yeah, Carmelo's already high. Dame Lillard's already higher than him. Tony Parker's higher than him. Just this list is an interesting.
Gilmore is higher than him. Let's not skip over that.
Gilmore obviously is, yeah. All right, so there's some definitely some weird pick there. I mean, Trev, you seem pretty fired up. You got one you want to get into?
No, get into the draft because I'll make my pick and we'll know why.
All right. I'll skip you and then just.
The rules of the draft are players only on the list, so I don't think you can take Melo.
I can't take Melo because it is only players on the list. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick. Like I said, we're gonna pick 6 players. They're only players from this top 74 list. Right now we're at 45 minutes, so I doubt we'll go any more picks. But what we're gonna end up doing is I'll put the teams together in like a my league or whatever it is, and we'll play it out. See if someone wins a championship, whoever has most wins, whatever it is. And I'll probably stream it and throw it up on our YouTube page while I do it as well. So we'll talk through it. Most of us will be in a party. We all usually play with each other, so we'll have some more content when it comes to this. Maybe I'm not gonna do it tonight, but probably tomorrow, whatever. Sometime this week I'll have it up. So let's get into it. Harry, you want to run it? You want me to do it? What do you want to do?
I'll run it. Just want somebody just to be able to keep the chart, keep the draft board.
I have the draft board on my notes page. So
All
I
right.
put it in my.
I was just gonna type it in on the Google Doc.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody
That works
that's
too,
what
but I
need
can
it.
just take it and I'll put it right into my league tonight or something.
I'll do it.
You want
All right.
to? Or you want me to?
I'll do it. I got it pulled up already.
All right, that works. All right.
You have to go down to the brackets on the bottom.
So before we get started, just give the draft order, the random number generated before we started. So complete luck, and despite that, the guy who kept saying he was going to be the number 1 pick happened to get it.
Saying he wasn't going to do it unless he got the number 1 pick.
Unless he got it, and happens to.
It's God paying him back for that tooth accident.
Where on my life? I did the random generator, and Jimmy's just like, unless I'm number 1 pick, I'm not doing this shit. I'm not doing it. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm gonna do it right now. I had it up on my phone. I click it, and I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
He did his.
Jimmy, right there on top. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
He did his best. LeVar Ball spoken into existence. Good
So anyway, since he spoke into existence, the number 1 pick in the draft.
LeBron James.
There it is. There it is.
Also, when you make your picks, just make it so I know where you're putting them. What position? You want him at small forward?
Forward.
I am
I can't
taking
decide
the
that
one,
yet.
the only, Michael Jordan, and I'm going to put him at my 2 guard spot, and he literally is going to dominate like he did in the 90s.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Trev, you have the 3rd pick.
I'm going stretch, and I have told Jimmy and Knack this pick already. I'm going to the man who is ranked 9th in this poll. Rest in peace, but give me Bean.
Horrible take.
I'm taking Kobe Bryant at 3.
Why are you taking like?
And I'm
15th
putting him at the
best
2
player
guard.
ever.
Taking him at the 2 guard.
That was all right.
Got Trevi Guntakunts over here taking Jordan Walls.
All right. Now I got a little strategy with my pick. I got to look at the board and see what positions don't really have a lot of depth. And I look at it, and the
Well prepared.
really see is that there are really no power forwards. So with my first pick, I'm going to take Tim Duncan. Play him at my 4.
Timmy!
All right, for my pick, I'm going to take the all-time leading scorer in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Center?
So,
All right, Knack, you're on the clock.
You're on the clock.
Let's say 30 seconds per pick, but I don't expect anybody to ever.
Give a short explanation. Say something about the player.
Yeah. Since I'm gonna have a back-to-back, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get my other person. Point guard's gonna be Magic.
What the hell are you talking about? Do I not exist in the world?
He said essentially a back-to-back.
Essentially back-to-back.
Who'd you take?
I don't think you're gonna take who I was gonna take next. So go ahead.
Who'd
Took
you take?
Magic.
Yeah, Will, you get two picks.
He took
Um,
the AIDS guy.
So,
It's-
It's a guy.
honestly, in my opinion, top 3 most dominant player to ever play the game of basketball, Shaquille O'Neal, from that center.
I typed it in before you even said it. That's
And
scary.
then I'll take the white man, Mr. Indiana, Larry Legend.
Small forward.
Knack back on the clock.
Next up, absolute beast against nothing but white people. Will Chamberlain.
Wilt.
Yep, playing center.
Well, my next pick, you guys might be surprised. He's a 2K glitch. I'm taking small forward Kevin Durant.
Wow, it's a good pick.
AD.
I'm gonna go with an underrated center. He probably maybe the best defensive center, but he also had the dream shake. Hakeem Olajuwon.
Shit.
Who do you want?
There we go.
According
you
to
see,
ESPN, the 4th best player of all time.
you see those angry. You see angry Kobe. I mean, come on.
Oh, boy, we had a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, I guess so.
He takes Olajuwon. I think that means I have to take Bill Russell.
I'm with a 6'9" center on 2K.
Oh my God.
I'm not playing the games.
Simming him.
Kobe.
All right, you took my Olajuwon pick there. I think gotta go Karl Malone. I'm gonna put him at the 5. Big scorer, second all time in points. Getting it from John Stockton. Just kidding, I'm not drafting him.
Wow, that was. I didn't see that one coming. Jimmy, you got your first of your back-to-back. What do you got?
All right, so I mean, I think to fit the kind of athletic freak concept, I'm gonna go with 2 very large individuals back to back with Kevin Garnett and Patrick Ewing.
Oh,
I
you're
like the
done.
Patrick pick.
You're
Hold
done.
on. So let's go. So Jimmy is now with.
Ewing is 37 on this list.
You're done.
He's a beast in 2K.
We want to play Jimmy's teams first.
Jimmy is now with.
We don't trade all our first round picks to get better in my league.
You can trade, however. We will have a mini trade thing at the end of if you want to make trades. Right now, Jimmy's sitting at LeBron, Garnett, and Ewing.
Like to see you guys score a point on me.
Rober, you're up.
So I'm gonna take the surgeon, the doctor, Julius Erving, and I'm gonna put him at the 3.
Dr. J off the board. I'm going to take, before Russell's time, the walking triple-double. Give me the big O, Oscar Roberts.
Sin.
I said that.
It was delayed.
Sure. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Harry?
I got my 2 big men. I need someone who can score on the outside.
Don't do it.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is the
Oh,
Wow.
That was my
You're,
pick.
you're
Needed a-
telling me I'm done.
need a
Oh,
point.
Guy's a -2 on defense.
Tony with Katie and Kareem.
That's what Hakeem Olajuwon's for. He's gonna protect the rim.
I'm gonna lock down my 4 right now, get a nice stretch, and Dirk Nowitzki.
You whore.
We lost Harry. I don't know where he went. But, Knack, it's your pick.
I'm gonna wish you guys good luck scoring on the inside because I'm taking the Admiral at number 4.
David Robertson off the board.
Wow.
All right. Let's see.
Billy, you got 2 picks sitting here with Larry Legend and Shaq.
Carl still on the board?
No.
No, Karl Malone has been taken.
Um,
Why don't you just look at the sheet?
that's stupid. Has the round mound of rebound been taken?
He has not been taken.
Give me the fat man.
Who?
Round mound of rebound.
Who the fuck is that?
Charles Barkley.
fuck.
And then let me get
Shit. You should have taken Zion.
AI.
He's not on the list. He's not on the list, Jimmy.
Ankle.
AI's not on the top 74.
Yes, he is.
There he is.
No,
Zion.
no, not him. Jimmy said Zion.
Oh,
Yeah, give me
Allen.
AI.
I
Iverson.
like that pick. Show some love for the man.
Knack, you're up. Shooting guard, small forward, 6-man still to go.
Yeah, so I'm going to be putting him at small forward. Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, he took my pick. Oh,
Alright. You can give me the third best shooting guard on the list in Dwayne Wade.
D Wade to Tony. Harry, you're up.
Oh.
Steph, Timmy, and Elijah Wan already on the squad.
oh, someone just took Kawhi Leonard. Someone took D Wade. Oh boy.
What the hell is this?
Giannis still on the board.
Yeah.
I'll take him. I'm going to start him at the 3.
Giannis off the board. I've been too busy trying to write these down. I don't know who I'm going to take.
I don't know why you're doing that when I'm doing it.
Yeah, dude, it's on the doc. You don't have to write it down.
Yeah.
Until he's red in the
I made a
face.
chart. I made a chart for you. Like, it's going to be so easy to do this.
I'm going to take put him at the 3. Give me Moses Malone.
Oh, damn. I was hoping he'd fall. At the 3? You're putting him
Y'all
Put
are
him at
drunk.
the 3.
Y'all
at
are drunk.
6.
Y'all are drunk.
What?
Oh, am I up? Is it me?
What did you say, Jimmy?
Nothing.
Is it me?
Yeah, you're up.
Oh, sorry. No, he's going at the 4. I apologize.
All right, there
Don't
it is.
matter.
So with my next pick, we kind of talked about it before. I'm going to take Isaiah Thomas, the man who took down Michael Jordan in his prime, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson in the finals.
Yeah. Well, with my next 2 picks, I'm gonna go Scottie
I'm at the 1.
Pippen and Tracy McGrady.
So, Scotty's your 6th man.
Scottie's gonna play the 3. T-Mac's gonna play the 2.
You have Braun at the 3.
I have LeBron at my point guard. You decided you were gonna play small forward.
Oh, you piece of
Wow.
shit. You piece of shit.
Harry, you still want to play me?
And then to round out my top 5, I'm going to take Bob Pettit, and I'm going to put him at the 4.
Scotty's off the board. He's got fuck. I don't know who to take. Do I have a point? I do have Oscar Robertson. Fuck.
He can play the 2.
There's a glaring 2 guard here that would fit your scheme. I'm
Yeah.
not helping you.
Don't help him.
6th man. Give me James Harden.
Oh.
Still got to take a small forward.
That's tough.
Oh, man, the 2s, they're off. Most of them are off the board. Jerry West is available, but he would not fit my team. I need a guy who could defend. I'm gonna take Elgin Baylor and put him at the 2. I need a guard. I need someone who could defend LeBron James at the guard position. I could have Steph Curry work about Tracy McGrady. So I need Elgin 2.
Yeah, you know what? I do need a point guard. I'll take Jerry West. I got a lot of scores. I need someone to give him the ball.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, who's the overrated trash can?
James Harden.
There it is.
Thanks.
I was waiting for someone to say that.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Yes.
You are up.
Okay, so I needed 2. I'm going to take Russ and put him at the 2 spot.
Probably the worst shooting guard of all time, then. Saying as can't do one of the things in the name of the position.
All right. To round out my squad, I'm gonna take the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, Way Allen, for my 6th man.
He's a great.
Give me Reggie Miller to play the 2.
You asshole.
Oh, you're
You
dumb.
asshole. Come on. I was thinking both them. If you took one, I was going to take the other. God damn.
With the 6th
I
pick,
expect that curveball.
the time for the 6th pick from Mac.
Yep.
You already know who's coming, baby. Give me Stockton.
Oh,
There
that was Stockton. He pulled it out.
Come with
it
the
is.
KKK costume.
For my pick, I need a lockdown defender coming off the bench. I'm taking James Worthy.
Solid pick. I need someone to close. I don't have a closer right now. He's pretty high on the list.
Oh,
Give me Dame. Dame as my 6th man.
Probably one of the
Surprising.
greatest Knicks of all time. Give me Walt Frazier.
Bro,
Good
do you
pick.
want to win a game?
God. Frazier.
So you took my shooters. So to round out my draft, I'm going to take the human highlight reel and save Bob Pettit some minutes and get Dominique Wilkins. Ducking all over you guys.
You are feeling Hawks. You are feeling the Hawks.
I am feeling the Hawks today.
I'll take Vince Carter.
Well, that draft went quicker than I thought.
We can do. You want to do 2 more?
I mean, to be fair, if we're doing this in a my league, then I think we probably should have more than 6 players, especially if we
We should. I think 9.
All right,
I
think-
think on a 9-man rotation.
8.
there we
Eight's
go.
fine.
8 will work. I think 8 to get the
work.
most accurate 2K.
I also have things to do. So
Let me tell you, my team's going to play no defense, but we are going to be running and gunning.
Like
2
you
more.
in real life.
2 more picks so that Nat can go play poker. Jimmy, go ahead.
I gotta look again.
All right. 20 seconds. Oh, boy. He's down to 10.
No. Hey, I'll take Jason.
7,
Kidd.
6.
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd off the board.
So as you can guys tell, I like the 90s a lot. Hakeem the Dream, he got taken from me. I'm going to take his partner in crime when they won the 95 championship. Or
Yes.
95?
It was 95.
Hey. Clyde Drexler. I got his jersey as well. Houston Rockets. It's coming in. DH Gate, shout out.
Good
No
pick.
free,
Shout
no
out to
free
me.
brand deals.
I'm going to go for my second modern pick. Give me AD.
Oh, damn it.
That's a good pick.
He took my pick.
good pick.
Oh.
It's the only good player on his roster though.
That's just not true.
I'm gonna take a guy that most people haven't heard of, but he is top 10. I believe he's top 10 in both points and rebounds. Give me the Big E, Elvin Hayes, first stretch 4 ever.
Say first or best?
What?
You say first or best?
The first. That definitely ain't the best. I have Tim Duncan.
Why?
That's the best.
That's why I asked.
All right, for my pick, I need a shooter off the bench, one that could give my scorers the ball. Steve Nash.
What? All right, Knack.
So everyone's mocking me about my shooters, and I think I have one of the best players that used to come off the bench for the Spurs, then started Manu.
Man, you Ginobili.
All right, I clearly just stated my last pick. I got no defense, so give me that finger wag to Kembe Mutombo.
Oh, fuck. I was hoping he'd go undrafted.
Undrafted free agents.
I was yeah,
Um,
pick him up on the waiver wire.
see who's still out there.
Yeah, I'm kind of this list just backed out on me, so my last pick might not be on the list.
Give me.
Actually, I know what.
I don't even know.
All right, you got 20 seconds.
Give me Pistol Pete.
Nervous.
Pete.
Oh my lord.
Wow.
Big fan of the whites in this draft.
Yeah, clearly.
Summary of how your season's gonna go.
Those blue Hawks jerseys are fire, though. I do like that.
Am I back up?
Yeah, you are.
Right. Is Gary Payton still available?
Yes,
He is still available.
You fucking asshole. Come on now.
He's about to clamp up Kobe's best player.
Sorry, buddy, but I'm gonna have to go with the glove.
It's a good pick. Very good pick.
All right, I need a backup center. Give me the stretch big, Dave Cowens.
Dave Cowens.
I took a risk. I went no backup bigs.
That's,
Yeah,
a, that's
Houston,
pretty
we have a
risky.
prop.
Oh, all right. I don't believe there are any two guards available.
There is one.
I have found one actually. Spent most of his time in the ABA. Spent a little time in the NBA. I'm gonna go with Iceman. Give me George Gervin.
Son of a bitch.
Scoring leader. I needed a scoring leader to go off the bench. Him and Dame Lillard will be a great backup backcourt. That's a tongue twister.
Backcourt.
Backcourt.
All right, Nif.
Damn it. I didn't want to do this.
You're not doing it then.
Give me Paul Pierce.
Pooped his pants.
Still
He actually shit himself in an NBA basketball game.
Yeah, well,
shit.
welcome to the squad. My team's going to be shit anyway. It's only fair.
My last pick. It's actually showing him giving Larry Bird the works right now. Bernard King.
King.
And now
Very
the
That's
close.
last pick of the
James
draft.
Harden and Paul Pierce end up on the same team.
Mr. Irrelevant. Dwight Howard.
You're on the list.
Dwight Howard made this list.
He
He
made
did
my list.
not.
He's not on the
He's
list.
not on the list.
Don't care.
Not on the list.
That's
Doesn't
not how it
That's
works.
literally the point of the draft.
Take
Yeah.
Alonzo Mourning.
You can't take Dwight, bro. He's
You
not
can't
on
take
the list.
Dwight.
Take Dennis Rodman. Robert Parrish.
I'll take Robin.
James Worthy.
Robin. He took Robin.
Jimmy's going to have Carmen sit in front row.
I already won
That's
them.
a show.
All right, so now that the draft is complete, let me ask you guys a question. If there was anybody who didn't make the list,
Dwight Howard.
wanted on your team, who would you guys have taken?
Dwight Howard.
Mello.
Prime D Rose.
Played 2 good years in the NBA.
Youngest MVP. Let him pull for me.
Penny
NBA.
Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway. Tony?
I need Hardaway. I was thinking that too, actually. I don't know.
Paul George.
Not yet.
Paul George.
Knack, you got a name?
I probably would have went prime D Rose too.
Love
Brian
it.
Diaz. I would have gone with Klay Thompson. That would have been
I would have went
he would have I probably would have taken him over
Chris Bosh.
too.
Yao Ming.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ming's my name.
Oh, wow.
That's a glitch. I mean, that's a glitch.
I mean, when he was in the NBA
Boban.
Hall of Fame, man.
Oh,
Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp is definitely a name. Definitely.
Boban. Manute Bol.
Kyrie.
Fuck Kyrie.
Super Bowl.
All right, so Trev, you're gonna take those. You're gonna put them in a my league.
Yes, I will
we
have
just
that
play?
video.
Can
I'll
we
No.
do
play?
a live stream to
Sorry, have 2K. It would be pretty hard.
Yeah, I can game share it to you, big guy.
Yeah, there's the thing. That's just
We're
not.
not playing. I'm just gonna sim these games
Sim 'em.
because
Yeah.
Kobe's
Gotta
on
make them
Xbox.
realistic. And we also need to make them realistic. We can't just have whoever's the best 2K player just win it all. I mean,
Right, exactly.
AKA Jimmy.
Jimmy.
No, I beat him.
Yeah, Harrison beat me in a my league where he traded 4 first-round picks and got 3 superstars on his team.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I'm the best 2K my player. That's me.
That's
I
it.
accidentally left that league.
I'm not arguing that. Yes, you did, Kobe. I was so sad to see you go.
Yeah, Trev. So you're gonna just sim it. What are you gonna do about the bench? Probably just some trash cans.
No, just put the auto-generated guys.
I'll put everyone in for 8-man rotation so only those 8 guys play. And I'll turn injuries off.
Perfect.
About fatigue.
Oh no, the fatigue stays on.
Fatigue has to stay on, but it'll just be those 8 guys playing.
Oh, God, I have no.
Well,
backup
If you
pick.
just have coach substitution on as his decision, automatic, it won't matter if you take fatigue on or off.
That's true too.
Yeah, I kind of need the whole roster to play because I don't have a backup big man.
Well, you should have known this when we were drafting. We gave you 2 extra picks.
Next up, you're like, give me Bull, just help.
I don't care. I made the right.
No, I'm taking fucking Dwight Howard.
No, we're not doing this. We made our picks. We're not just
No,
as
yeah, we're done.
there were no undrafted free agents.
So this episode's going up right away. So by tomorrow night, I'll have a live stream on YouTube on our page with these rosters. I'll have them all set up already, and then we'll sim the season. Maybe how many seasons do you want to do? 1 or 2? 3.
I mean, it should just depend if somebody wins.
So if nobody wins, we'll do a season until somebody wins. Let's put it that way.
Well,
All right.
Someone's gonna win. But if you look at these teams, someone's gonna win.
yeah, let's do. I say let's do 3 seasons, and we'll take the best team for 3 seasons.
Sounds good.
I'll bet you MJ wins the MVP still.
That's a very hot take you're right there. Very hot take.
Watch out for James Harden.
What is his
Have
name?
a mound of rebound. You don't want to see him in the paint.
All right, boys. Well, it's good talking to you. We'll see you on the live stream and then next episode next Sunday. All right.
Yeah.
Peace.
Like,
Peace.
comment, subscribe.